You know what? I don't know if we're gonna have a cold open. I didn't do a cold open on the first one, did I?
No, I don't think
You
so.
can't. You can't cold open a special
This
like
is the
this.
cold open.
Yeah,
Just
this is
get
it.
going. It's gold, Jerry.
Oh boy. Okay, no cold open. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a Film by Podcast. I'm Jeff Johnson.
I'm David Burns.
I'm Scott Hoffman.
And I'm Wayne Whited.
We have got a full house today because we have got a special episode for you today. We have been busy hitting up some incredible conventions, and we thought it was time to give a little recap on where we've been, who we've seen, and who we've talked to. So we're going to dive in to our experiences at the Cincinnati Comic Con, the Lexington Scarefest, and the Motor City Comic Con. Before we get into that, Wayne, for those maybe unfamiliar with the term con, what is a con?
Oh, what is a con? It is a convention, an event where fans of a particular genre, be it comic books or horror films, sci-fi, etc., can go and celebrate their fandom, meet creators and stars, and mostly surround themselves with the things they like, their hobbies, and others that are into the same thing that they are.
Scott, how did all this start for those of us that don't know?
Well, so like Wayne said, nowadays there's a con that fits with anything that people are passionate about, right? So wrestling, movies, comics, sci-fi. If there's enough people that are into it, there's a place to celebrate that love together. The first one that I found was the World Science Fiction Convention that took place in New York City in 1939, coinciding with the World's Fair. Fast forward to 1964, when the Big Apple was also the home to the first large-scale comic book convention. And then about 6 years later, in 1970, San Diego Comic-Con took hold of the West Coast. The first one had a modest showing of about 100 attendees, which pales in comparison to more than 100,000 people that we see there today. The number of cons across the nation, across the world, have exploded since then with specialized events throughout the year, and most of them available wherever you live. So instead of having to make the pilgrimage to the coasts, there's a good chance you can find an amazing con near you.
I absolutely agree with that. These things are popping up everywhere. Dave, you've been to plenty of these things.
Yeah.
Any fun facts? Anything you can tell us about what goes on at conventions?
Well, the one thing that I really wanted to dig into, one thing I didn't think about was what the conventions bring in money-wise. So we've all been to a bunch of these conventions. We know how crowded they can get, right? And I do not want to deter anybody from going to see one of these because of the crowds, because those lines are worth it to meet the people that you would not normally get to run into on a normal day basis. But research was done like about 8 years ago. Did you guys know that this business of a comic book convention brings in over $3 billion a year?
Oh, wow.
I'd believe it.
Now that was like 5 to 6 years ago. So considering how busy these conventions have gotten now, the attendance, as we all know, seems like it's gone up.
It has.
So it's clearly more than $3 billion. But I was looking at next year at the conventions that are going on, and literally there's a convention every freaking weekend. Now, some of them are very small, obviously. Like the big ones, usually like every 2 or 3 months, every 4 months, something like that.
Yeah.
But literally, you go to a convention every weekend if you wanted to. But it is quite an experience, especially if you go with friends. For me, sometimes just the drive to one of these is an experience in itself. Just getting to hang out with my friends, and that's you guys. The con men.
Yeah.
That to me is very, very special. Just the one we recently did where we had to drive 4 hours, guys.
Yeah.
I love that. The drive may stink sometimes, especially when we're coming back and we're all tired. But you know what? It is so much fun and totally worth it. So yeah.
I wouldn't trade the trips there for anything. That's some of the better moments for me too.
It is. Yeah.
With all this money that you're talking about, Dave, one thing we got to point out is that a lot of this money is going to a good cause. There's some really impressive organizations that are raising money for various charities. Scott, what can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, so let's start with the Star Wars fans. Let's talk about the 501st Legion, which is the world's definitive Imperial costuming group. Since '97, they've brought iconic characters to life for the benefit of local charities at cons and other fan-based charity events. Basically, name any villain from that universe, and you'll see it represented in mind-blowingly screen accurate detail. They bring real working droids, one of a kind backgrounds for photo ops, all for a good cause. It's 100% volunteer, more than 7,000 active members worldwide, and its popularity earned not only official recognition by George Lucas himself, but the 501st has become an official part of Star Wars canon as early as 2004, most notably as part of Revenge of the Sith, Battlefront 2, and the Clone Wars cartoon under the command of Captain Rex. So this is an organization that you'll see at a lot of these local shows, different factions from the local con, wherever you are. They'll find a local charity and be giving back to it, whether it's a children's hospital or another local charity in need, usually benefiting kids, which is great to see. And they're not the only ones. So Columbus Ghostbusters, near us, is another great example of a nonprofit that raises money for local charities. It's officially recognized by an officially recognized franchise by Sony and Ghost Corps. You can regularly see them bring in more than like Ecto 1 proton packs. They do like a psychic test where you get a Twinkie as a prize. Expert costuming, all this stuff that brings you back to the firehouse, and they're collecting money for charities. So you get a photo op and all these experiences, and the money that you give them gives back to your city. There's a lot of organizations that do similar things. There's Galaxy United, Heroes Strong, Rubber City Cosplay, all bringing these real life experiences that immerse you in your worlds while giving back to people in need. So it's a cool thing to do.
Very cool.
I tell you, I think it'd be great because I know we're probably going to do another one of these Conman episodes. I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to get someone from the 501st or like the Finest, that GI Joe club that's
great.
out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to get
Awesome.
I'd love to get someone from one of those organizations. We ought to invite them on and talk with them a little bit. I think that'd be a fun time.
I agree.
Totally agree.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking about a fun time, let's head back to September. We had the Cincinnati Comic Expo. Now, there's some big names at this one. I know Stephen Amell was there, Vincent D'Onofrio was there, Julie Benz, Brett Spiner. That's just to name a few. A lot of really big voice name actors. But maybe the big draw was the Paul's a Plenty, right? We got Paul Bettany, Paul Williams, and Paul Freeman, who I know was a big draw for probably the big draw for us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who we met. Wayne, what can you tell us about Paul Williams?
He was fantastic. I've always wanted to meet him. He is part of our childhood, really. I mean, if you lived during the 70s and the 80s, you couldn't turn on the radio or turn on the television without hearing or seeing something that he was involved in. I mean, he wrote some of the greatest songs ever, including the score to the Muppet movie. He wrote the Academy Award nominated song Rainbow Connection. He wrote the theme to The Love Boat. I mean, everything that's out there during that time, he pretty much was involved. And he was a fantastic person, incredibly nice. I met him specifically because he's also an actor, and he did a guest appearance on Star Trek Voyager. But he didn't really want to talk about himself. He wanted to talk about something else I brought up. I had mentioned that I had just found out that he was the singing voice on the soundtrack for The Secret of Nim, which was written by Jerry Goldsmith, one of my favorite composers. And Paul he had such great stories about Jerry Goldsmith. It was like working with your idol, his hero. He respected Goldsmith so much. It was a great conversation. I mean, I love talking soundtracks to anyone. But I am so thrilled to finally have met this legend of music.
It's funny. I can't think of Paul Williams without thinking of Phantom of the Paradise.
Yes.
That De Palma film.
Oh yeah.
He is wild in that thing. I know you guys had a nice interaction with Julian Glover. Dave,
Oh, yeah.
tell me about that.
Oh yeah, that was so amazing. So very surreal, okay? Because if you told myself back in 1989 when I was watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that I would be meeting Julian Glover in person, I'd be like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But I got to tell you, meeting him in person like we did was a whole new level because not only was it surreal, like I said, but Wayne and I, got into his line to take a photograph with him. So we went in, and I was wearing shorts, and everybody who knows me knows I have a prosthetic leg, and obviously anyone's going to notice it or recognize it right away. But Julian, looked down. He looked at me, and he said, "Hey," he says, "Well, what happened?" And he was very sincere about it. It was like two friends talking. It was very natural conversation. It wasn't like forced or anything like that. He was just very, very genuine about it. And when I told him the story and how I lost it, you could just see how deeply caring he was and hit by his reaction on what he did. And one of the things that will come up in a lot of our conversations when we meet these people is how, after meeting them, how we appreciate them more. How we want to support them more after we've met them for the first time, because I don't think I've had a bad experience in a long time with meeting anybody. No. So that meeting with Julian Glover was just incredible and, gives me much more respect of him. But now when I see him in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as Donovan, I'm like, hey, I've met that guy and he was pretty cool.
He was my number one draw. He was the one person I really wanted to meet there because he not only has guest starred on Doctor Who once, but twice with two completely different doctors in two different decades, two fantastic stories, one back in the 60s and then another one that was written by the legendary Douglas Adams, one of the best stories from the entire series. And he had, even though it happened such a long time ago, almost 60 years ago with the first one, he remembered everything like it was yesterday and had great stories about working with William Hartnell and Tom Baker. And he was really excited to meet someone that didn't talk about Indiana Jones, but was talking about Doctor Who. He was a fantastic person to meet.
There's a very fun photo that you guys took with Glover. Mm-hmm. Wayne, you want to tell us a little bit about what you decided to do for this this particular photo op?
Yeah, I don't know why this even came to my head but I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to have a photo taken with me and David. And I was looking over on my shelf, and I have quite a few action figures, and I saw the action figure of Julian Glover from that story, City of Death, the Doctor Who story from the 70s. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat to have that in my hand and holding that? And then I thought, well, no, wait a minute, there's another figure out there. There's a Donovan figure as well. So I went out and got that, gave that to David, since he's a big Indiana Jones fan. And we are both holding up Julian Glover figures along with a real person.
That's a cool photo.
Yeah. Yeah, we got two con men and three Julian Glovers in that photo. That's pretty fantastic.
That's right.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, I gotta say, for me, the big draw had to be Paul Freeman. Scott, I'm talking about he played a character. I think they call him Balosh.
Balosh? Belloc.
Paul Freeman, guys, was he not just a fantastic conversation? And
he really was.
Bit of a smartass, like towards Julian Glover, like
he was.
Yeah, we talked to him. We're talking to him. We're like, hey, you are by and far the greatest adversary Indiana Jones ever faced. And he's pointing down to Glover. He's like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go tell him that? Exactly.
It was awesome. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Now here's something, Dave, we talk about having some fun things with photos. Freeman was kind enough to take a quick photo with us at the table. I'm carrying the fertility idol, from Raiders. And I had this idea that I would, Dave, you remember this. I wanted to kind of pose like I was handing it over to him.
Yep.
Scott, I know you weren't with us. You were talking to the 501st at this point, I think. But
yep. I
pulled this idol out of my bag. As soon as he saw it, he snatched it from me. I didn't even get a chance to so you take a look at that photo. He is proudly holding it center, right there. I'm like, okay, well, okay, he'll take the photo the way he wants to take the photo. But no, he was fantastic. We kind of talked a little bit about his favorite directors. I know Dave wasn't it Elia Kazan that he mentioned
Mhm.
as his
Yep.
as his top choice.
Yep.
And then he kind of sheepishly told us about his upcoming work in a Hallmark movie that he said, you do what you do. So for those of you tuning into the Hallmark channel, you will see Paul Freeman soon.
Holding the idol.
Well, no. This is not a Richard Dreyfuss situation. I got the idol back.
You got that one back. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, yeah. No, Scott, I know you were all over the place, checking out a lot of the vendors, a lot of the booths. Are we heading back to this one next year?
I'd definitely go back to Cincinnati Comic Expo. I know there were other draws that I kind of wish I could have met. There was Jim Lee, which everybody knows that name. An amazing talent that I wish we could have met, but it was a day off for us. Disney legend Floyd Norman was there. Look up Floyd Norman and you'll see him all over Disney classics. The one that I made a beeline for was Adam Savage from Mythbusters. I wanted to get an autograph for my oldest son, who has one of the books that the Adam swears by. It's like his backstage Bible, basically. And I know that he was talking up a lot of cosplayers and people who follow in those footsteps, and was giving advice and encouragement, and it was great to see. So there's a big range of talent you'll see at the Cincinnati Comic Expo. I'd be glad to go back.
How about you, Wayne?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic convention. I had a great time. The dealers were fantastic, especially if you were shopping for comics. I got to meet a few other people too. Neil McDonough from Star Trek: First Contact of Band of Brothers. I got to meet him. Fantastic, incredibly nice guy. And I got to meet John Delancey. This is actually the second time I've met him, and it was a rather unusual conversation I had with him. Usually when I meet some of these people, I try to find something that's a little more obscure. They sit there for hours listening to the same thing over and over again, Star Wars, Star Trek, or whatever. So I usually try to bring up something else, some other work that they did. And I think I got a little bit too obscure and mentioned his appearance in Torchwood, and he did not remember anything else about it. And he deflected the questions back to me. So he pretty much spent the entire time talking to him. He was asking questions about me and my career, which was rather odd. I've never done that before. but okay, if he wants to know all about me, that's fine. But yes, I want to go back next year. It'll be fantastic to go back. I can't wait to see who they have on the list.
One final thought about Paul Freeman. You guys were busy talking with Julian Glover. I went back to Freeman and was able to, chat with him a little bit more. And to Wayne's point, you never want to just ask the same question that these actors and actresses and creators have heard thousands of times.
Right.
And I kind of feel like when you kind of go above and beyond and you talk about something off topic, usually they like to throw something out to you, right?
Yep.
I can't tell you, Freeman was kind enough to offer up the fact that he did not swallow a fly in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is, he hears it all the time. I wasn't about to ask him, but that did not happen. Despite what you see or what you think you see on the screen, it did not happen. But Dave, was there anyone else you happened to run into at Cincinnati Comic Expo?
No one that I ran into. But I just want to talk about some of the dealers there. You will find a lot of stuff that you won't normally find in any stores, like a Target or Walmart or anything like that.
Very true.
At these conventions, you find the unique items. I know Wayne mentioned the comic books, but for me, I mean, it's looking for other things too, like hot toys or any kind of action figure collectibles, stuff that you won't normally find in a regular store. So definitely when you go to one of these, check out all the dealers that are, because you never know what you're going to find. You will find those unique items. And, everyone I've been to, I always find something different, something unique. And I wish my wallet, my bank account would allow me to buy more, but unfortunately it won't let me.
Check out Cincinnati Comic Expo. We'll have their information in the show notes. We'll see you there. Moving on to the Lexington Scarefest. We did this one back in October. This one was huge. We had reunions for Jaws, Friday the 13th, Creep Show, Halloween, and Day of the Dead. Just to name a few. That's like your legacy horror films. In addition, I know the entire cast of like Terrifier was there.
Yep.
They were, I mean, that those movies are getting a huge draw at these conventions now. And if you've seen them, you know why.
And don't forget, we had a couple actors there from Five Nights at Freddy. The movie hadn't even been out yet. And, those actors weren't getting a lot of people coming up to them. And now I regret it because, God dang it. Now when they do show up at conventions, they're going to be packed.
Yeah, you sell those two, and we're like, oh, wow, the movie's not even out yet. So,
yeah,
we walked right by them. A couple weeks later, we're seeing the movie. It's incredible. And we're kind of like, yeah, that would have been good to stop and say hello. But in addition, again, some huge names: David Arquette, Adrian Barbeau, Tom Savini, Bill Moseley, Ken Foree, Clint Howard, David Morrissey. I could go on, but let's talk about who we met. Wayne, you've got the Doctor Who poster in tow. You've got the Star Trek poster in tow. These legendary posters that hold hundreds of autographs that you've got. What can you tell us about Clint Howard?
He was fantastic. I mean, here's a guy that was in so many Star Trek series and made so many appearances, all the way back to 1966 in the original. He was so nice. He looked at my poster and picked out the names. In fact, the first one he recognized, oh, there's Paul Williams. I can't believe he got his autograph. And I actually talked to him a little bit about our other shows that we do in our podcasts of Strange New Worlds and his recent appearance. I loved meeting him. He's a Star Trek legend. He was one of two Star Trek guests that I wanted to meet there. The other one was Melinda Clark. She had guest appeared on the pilot episode of Star Trek Enterprise, and I wish I would have realized this was her too. But I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. Love that show, and she was in an episode called The Muffin Tops, where she likes hairless things, and of course Jerry shaves himself, and I think that's one of the funniest episodes. And I would love to talk to her about that.
Love that.
But
episode.
I did get to talk to her about Star Trek, and I think I was probably the only person that weekend that came up to her and talked to her about that. First thing out of her mouth was, "Oh, that's right, I kissed Scott Bakula." I enjoyed that. So yeah, it was a good memory there. And then of course David Morrissey, my number one big draw. I mean, he's huge on The Walking Dead, but he did a phenomenal guest appearance back in 2008 on Doctor Who, playing the next Doctor, man who is shocked by a Cyberman memory disc and believes he's the Doctor himself. An incredible appearance. And here's a guy who he wants to do more conventions. He talked to me. He asked me questions. He says, "I would love to do Doctor Who conventions." And I gave him the information. I told him which ones to contact. Hopefully we see him more. If you see him at a convention, go visit him. Go get his autograph. He is incredible to talk to.
And he was a talker. Jeff and I were standing back watching, your interactions with him. And he was just going on and on and on, having that friendly conversation with you forever.
He loved being on the show and he loved talking about it. It was great to meet someone that was not only in the show, but is passionate about the series as well.
Dave, how great was it to meet a legend like Tom Savini?
I got to tell you, I never expected to meet him either. This guy, being in his presence, how inspiring it was, because, just think of all the work he's done over the years that we have seen on the big screen, just sitting there and just signing autographs and meeting his fans. God, it was fantastic. Just sitting next to him to get my selfie with him was just, gave me goosebumps. Loved it.
What I love is how approachable he was.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there a day earlier. No one is near Savini. He's I don't know if he had just come back from a lunch break or what, but I just walked up, started casually, just, "Hey, I love your work, thank you for everything you've given us." And he goes, "You can sit down, man." So sit down. We talk like 2 more minutes, and that's the great thing. If you haven't been to one of these cons, I will tell you this: sometimes if you're hoping to see someone, you might be in a line with 1,000 other people. If you're trying to talk to William Shatner, you are not. Shatner's not going to ask you to sit down and chat for a while, right, Wayne?
That's right.
Because they got to make time for everybody. But if you happen to catch someone when they're just about to leave or they're just now getting back, sometimes they just love chatting. So,
Yes.
and Savini was kind of like that. It was great to talk to him. And again, we didn't really talk anything specifically, just, about his career, but I was like, well, how about a quick picture? And he, kind of taking a page out of Paul Freeman's book, he snatches my cell phone away from me and says, I'll do it. I'll take it. So, Savini, clearly he has an angle that he prefers. So, but you know what? The man photographs as well as David Burns. So, I'll say that about him. Dave, let's talk a little bit about Friday the 13th.
Oh, man, please. Anytime I have an opportunity to talk about Friday the 13th, I am all over that. As I've mentioned in many podcasts before, the original Friday the 13th was my very first rated R film. So it always holds a special place in my heart. So when I knew I was going to this convention and I was going to get to meet the final girl, Alice, Adrienne King, dude, I was like on top of the world. And she was just so kind when we got to meet her. It's very approachable. She came out from around the counter, to take the picture with me. And, of course, I asked her, is it okay if I put my arm around her? She goes, of course, go ahead, And then when we finished getting the picture, man, she just turned around and just gave me this long embracing hug, but she's just a wonderful person. I'm so glad to see and meet her. It just, man, it made me feel good. Not to mention, kind of was blushing a little bit when I met her, and she even noticed it too. She said, I love it being at my age that I can make men still blush. And I love that.
Well, she's beautiful, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, wow. To see her, to talk with her, just enchanting.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, I'll tell you right now, if we have a Lando Calrissian in this group, it's you. You are definitely setting yourself up as the smooth talker. Because I know you had a certain interaction with someone else at Motor City. We'll get to later.
Oh yeah.
You turned into quite a player, my friend.
He'll show up in the next show with the cape.
He's Scott. You should have seen him at Lexington and at Motor City. He is. I'll tell you, he is. They're sweet on him. That's what I'll say.
He's the con man Casanova.
Yeah. Amy Steele, who plays Jenny in Friday the 13th too, another just beautiful woman.
Yep.
Full of energy. You could tell she was loving being there. Had a, in a situation like this, like, you know what, let's get an autograph, because these are iconic characters that these women played.
Yep.
And I love, they're having fun with it. Sometimes you'll be you'll see someone, they'll just sign their name and all right, move along.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they write some fun stuff for you. Amy Steele wrote a fun little catchphrase from Friday the 13th too for me, personalized it. But again, I could have talked to those two women the rest of the day if time would have permitted. But time did not permit, Dave, because we had to talk to Jason Voorhees himself, right?
We did. Oh, we did. And of course, you were talking about the man, the myth, Kane Hodder. Getting to see him in person was something special too. Getting to see the Jason Voorhees, in my opinion, he still has that bulk, the shoulders that you see on screen when he plays Jason. Very cool guy. Getting to sit back with him and take pictures and stuff like that. And Chad Cochran, who plays Jason for me in a lot of my photo films, I got to mention to him about Chad playing Jason. And Kane, of course, asked, "Well, how does he play him?"
I like that he looked up immediately and it's like, how's he do?
Yeah.
How is he? Like,
yeah, like he wanted to know.
Hey,
he cared.
You are the king, sir. But he's got to look out for the character, right?
Of course he does. And that's pretty much what I told him. I said, Chad is a huge fan of you. So of course he's going to betray you, but of course he's never going to equal what you did on screen. Of course not.
Yeah. If there's one thing I'll tell you about Kane Hodder, the man is frighteningly strong.
Oh yeah.
So I had to Dave, I had to do like a professional photo with him.
Of course.
Walk up to him, and I was like, you know what? Let's I wanted kind of like a clowning shot. So I was like, how about let's throw your hands around my neck like you're strangling me. He's like, hey, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. So I don't know what happened in the past, but he just goes, how about if I punch you instead? Now, I don't know if he's kidding at this point, Scott, but the photographer's like, all right, let's go. Kane puts a grip on me, and then, I'm sure what he felt was gently presses his fist into the side of my face.
Oh God.
And it hurt. but I'm not about to complain because I'm like, I got a photo looking like Kane Hodder punched me out, but
And it looks awesome.
At the same time, I'm like, damn, that guy's strong. Like that, like my jaw kind of was aching for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad I can say Kane Hodder hurt me at some point. At some point, I live to tell the tale, right?
Yep.
This one actually was a fantastic experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun talking, talking with David Arquette. Couldn't really talk a whole lot. He actually had quite a huge draw. There's several hundred people waiting in line to talk to him, so that was kind of like a quick one. But I'll tell you, for me, if there was a big draw for me on this one, getting the chance to speak with the lovely Adrienne Barbeau. I know she wasn't there Sunday when you guys were with me. I actually was there Saturday. Had a great opportunity to talk with her. One thing we try to do when we hit these conventions, we try to get mic'd up, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're not allowed to record.
Mm-hmm.
Adrienne actually, this was a time I got to ask a fun question about some of her work. So here's a quick clip talking with Adrienne Barbeau about her iconic role, Stevie Wayne, in The Fog.
Hello again, Adrienne.
Hello.
Hello. Any chance I could ask you a question for our show?
What's the show?
A Film by Podcast.
It depends on what we're talking about.
Just what kind of, I'll ask the question, you could say no comment if you want. My question was, if music royalties weren't an issue on The Fog, what kind of music would Stevie Wayne be playing rather than jazz? So maybe it's Adrienne's favorite music.
I'm not sure I'd have an answer for you. I've never thought about the music.
About the music? I always wondered. We've talked about it before. Like, what would Stevie be playing?
I'd have to separate Stevie from myself, and that's.
So what would Adrienne be playing?
Oh, probably, 70s pop.
70s pop? Okay.
Loggins and Messina,
Oh,
Michael
okay.
McDonald,
Nice.
Boobies, Hart.
All great choices.
Mac McAnally. I know what she might be playing, and the name just went out of my head. Eva Cassidy.
Okay.
For that kind of, for the fire, for the lighthouse.
I love it.
Eva Cassidy.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy your time. Thanks, Adrienne.
Yeah, so there you have it. If you're wondering what Stevie would have been playing in the Lighthouse, direct from Adrienne Barbeau, there's your answer. And I got to tell you, again, another incredible actress, an incredible body of work, and just stunning in person. She was absolutely delightful and just amazing to talk to. I absolutely hope I get to see her again sometime.
I hope I get to meet her once because unfortunately I couldn't be there the day that she was there. You were lucky that you got to meet her, so I regret it. But hey, hopefully I'll get to see her.
Yeah, me too. She's had such an incredible career over the years.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to her about a lot of her appearances.
In Swamp Thing.
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so listen, we are no strangers to the Lexicon that took place at this convention center. This one was the Scarefest, and I gotta say, guys, they knocked it out of the park with this one.
Mm-hmm. They absolutely did. I like the conventions that are just focused on horror at times. It gives you a little bit of a different vibe, a different feel, and you get to meet different people. But yeah, I'm definitely going back to this one.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest horror fan, not like you guys are. I mean, I love the films, but I'm just not into it like that. But I love this convention. It was so much fun, and there's more. Even if you don't like horror, this is a place to go. It's great meeting these people because so many of them have had so many different careers. You can, like I'm there for Star Trek, and even though it was a horror convention, the dealers were fantastic. There were a lot of interesting stuff, and I even found some comic books there, and it was a great time. I definitely want to go back to this one.
And another really cool thing about this one too, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but there was a lot of space. Some of these conventions are like a little crowded and a little tight, like in the dealers, the hallways, those kind of thing. There was plenty of room at Lexington Scarefest where you could just like, you were not shoulder to shoulder with somebody. It was really nice. I love that.
Yeah, you're right. And there were a lot of guests there. I mean, we didn't even
Yeah.
mention a fraction of them. We probably didn't even get to about 10 of them, 10% of them.
Yep.
So many of them, but they were all spaced out perfectly. It was easy to get to.
Yep.
The lines were very manageable.
They were. Yep.
Scott, I know you weren't with us at the Scarefest. Obviously, you were with us at the Lexicon. This would have been a great one for you, Scott. And you were there in spirit. I did happen to name drop you and Dave on Saturday. I had a I had a quick meeting with Ken Foree.
Oh, nice.
I had to take the opportunity to tell him about the Dawn of the Dead episode that you and Dave did on A Film at 45, which he kind of, he appreciated. We got these incredible actresses making Dave Burns blush. I may have inadvertently made Ken Foree blush because I brought up the From Beyond episode that we did on 86. And, just like, I told him, I was like, man, you were in incredible shape. You're running around in those bikini briefs. And he, let out that deep laugh that he has, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if I can do that now. I was like, I don't know, man. Like you look like you're in pretty incredible shape still. So yeah, great time. Absolutely enjoyed myself there. And
Yes,
Wayne,
sir.
you're absolutely right. I think this one needs 2 days because I think we only saw a fraction of what this one would offer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, let's move on to the one we just got back from. We were up in Detroit at the Motor City Comic Con. We are no stranger to this one. This was our third time. Well, I say my third time. Dave, maybe your third time.
I think it's my fifth, isn't it, Wayne?
Yeah, I think it's your fifth.
That's my fifth
Yeah.
time to this one. Yeah.
It's like my 10th.
Yeah. Scott, I know you've been to one with us.
Yep.
And then Wayne, obviously, has there been a Motor City Comic Con that you've missed?
Oh, quite a few of them. Yeah. I mean, I've been only to 10 of them, in the last like 20 years, and they happen twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one, again, just a huge turnout. Motor City Comic Con always puts on a good event.
Yeah.
The big draw here, probably David Harbour, who I didn't think we were going to get near him, with the popularity of Stranger Things and Hellboy and everything else he's got going on. But Peter Weller is there with the OCP Ford Taurus police car, which was really cool to see that up close.
Yep.
And the cast of Cobra Kai, my one of my all-time favorites, one of my heroes, William Zabka is there. Machio's there.
We know how you feel about Machio, Jeff.
Crossroads, Jeff. Crossroads.
Listen, all right. You know what? I'm going to jump in right there because I'm going to call it like I see it, Dave. And I pointed this out to you. So let me tell you about the Cobra Kai side. Okay. First off, Scott Zabka. It was like everyone was there for him, and you could tell. Martin Cove. You got Martin Cove there, who is famous for playing Sensei Kreese.
Yeah.
A lot of people happy to see him. We got to meet him back at a Horror Hound last year. So he is awesome. He is a lot of fun because he kind of likes to stay in character too, which is really cool. And yes, Ralph Macchio's there, Scott. But here's what I'm gonna point out: William Zabka and Martin Cove, they're signing autographs and they're taking pictures, right? Like most of pretty much all the celebrities do. And Scott, here's the thing: these guys are walking around the table to come out, put their arm around the fan, and take a nice photo. Macchio is not doing that, Scott. He is charging $80 for a selfie, and he's leaning over the table and having the person lean in. I'm like, I looked at Dave. I was like, come on, really? I just couldn't believe it, man. Am I wrong? Am I being a dick for calling Macchio out?
I mean,
you're right.
I don't know if there was something going on. Maybe he didn't want to be around people too much, but I agree with you. Because when we looked over, there was a sweet little girl trying to get her picture with him. And he's literally just like leaning over the table, and she's doing her best to lean back over the table to get her picture with him. And I was like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Scott, this girl was may have been 7. I mean, she was like 3 feet tall. She's on her tiptoes trying, there's probably like 2.5 feet between them on this, I'm like, come on.
Just
do better,
keep in mind his last name is Macchio, not LaRusso. He's not the character. It's okay.
Well, no,
maybe something was going on, but I hear what you're saying. Like there's some actors that you see that go out of their way to be very personable, and they're with their their fans and all this other kind of stuff. So hats off to Zabka for that.
Yeah. And Scott, you're absolutely right. His name is not LaRusso, it's Macchio. And to that point, I would say, hey, look, you play a villain in Karate Kid. You don't have to be a villain in real life, right? So I mean, come on, And
hang on, I'm getting a call from Dayton Johnson at Docking Bay 77. Hold on.
Stop. No, but in all fairness, though, you never know. I mean, maybe he's not feeling good. Maybe he's worried,
right?
About we're coming up at the winter season, So I get it. Sometimes you want to keep your distance, and that's totally cool. But if that's the case,
that's right.
Let your audience know. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. I agree. No, I agree.
You're right. You're right.
Yep.
Wayne, let's move on. Let's move on to a nicer topic. Wayne, you had the opportunity to meet a legend in the world of Star Trek.
Oh, yes. One of the originals, Walter Koenig, Chekhov himself. It is such an honor to meet any of the surviving cast members of the original Star Trek. It's very rare now. And this is actually, David reminded me, this is actually the second time. And David, you are right. We did meet him 20 some years ago at Dragon Con, where I got his autograph from Babylon 5, another show that I absolutely love. But this time I was here for Star Trek, and he did not disappoint. Lovely man, incredibly friendly. And thank you both, Jeff, paid to get a selfie taken with me and him, which I absolutely love. It's just incredible. I can't believe I actually another classic Star Trek actor that I've got my photograph with him now. I've got his autograph on my poster. This is like royalty for my poster.
Yeah, you guys are the Star Trek experts as far as I'm concerned, but I'm the Star Trek enthusiast. And as you guys know, I loved the original series. And so even for me, it was a starstruck moment because I'm a living legend right in front of me and just could not believe. I'm like, wow, yes. Chekhov is right in front of me. He's, we're talking with Chekhov. This is incredible. So that was a bit of a starstruck moment for me. I have to admit, wonderful, wonderful man.
He was wonderful man.
Wayne, I know one person you were looking to have sign one of the posters was a little affectionate, right?
Yeah. Yes, he was the anti Ralph Macchio. That was Doug Jones. He plays Saru on Star Trek Discovery, and I've met a lot of actors over the many conventions that I've been to, and so many of them are incredibly friendly. We've talked about a lot of them just today about how friendly they are. But this guy, he has taken it to a completely different level. He talked. It took a while to get through his line. I will say that, but because he put his center of attention to each person, he spoke to them. He talked to them in length about various subjects, and he wouldn't let anyone leave without getting a very big, affectionate hug. Now, I'm not much of a hugger. I'm one of those, don't bust my bubble people. Everybody knows that. But and so, my eyes are nearly popping out of my head when he's coming around the table and giving me this big bear hug. And he is a very, very tall guy. I mean, he's like I don't know how tall he is, but he's like 6'7", 6'8".
And you're not a short guy, Wayne.
No, I'm not. I'm 6'1". But here he is wrapping his arms around me, and I'm like, I can't believe this. This is fantastic. If you get a chance to meet him and get a hug from him, it's definitely a different experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, he Wayne, one thing I always love about the doing these cons with you is seeing you get excited about actors and actresses that I'm excited about, but then you're excited about it because of Star Trek or because of Doctor Who, and I never have a clue that they're in those shows, because you're like, oh, Doug Jones. I'm like, oh yeah, the guy from The Shape of Water. He was in Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth. Like this guy is amazing. He's like bowling buddies with Andy Serkis, as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, he was in episode 6 of season 12 of. I'm like, okay, well, now I know that too.
And to all of you old timers out there like me and David, I learned something about him that back in the 80s, there were these commercials for McDonald's, the Mac Tonight commercials, and he played the Mac Tonight. That was his first job. I didn't know that. And I actually, that kind of thrilled me. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, as a little kid, I was like, wait, the Crescent Moon guy? And you're like, yes.
Right.
Yep.
That's him.
I never knew that.
I'll tell you one, getting the opportunity to talk with someone there that I was excited about. I got to tell you guys a quick bit about Donald Gibb. Now,
Nice.
Anyone that watched movies in the 1980s, this guy. He was Ogre in the Revenge of the Nerds movies. I loved him as Jackson in Bloodsport, and he's there. And again, this is one of those situations, Dave, where we were mic'd up, and he was totally cool with answering some questions about his career, and he had this to say about some of his uncredited work.
Thank God for you, or I would. All right, big dog, ready?
Yeah.
Right. Framing you up, making you look good.
Make me look tough there, dude.
1, 2, 3.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
If I could ask you a question for
Of
our
course,
show.
Of course.
You get your start in 1980. You got a couple uncredited roles, right? You got Any Which Way You Can.
Yes.
You got Stripes and you got Conan
No,
the
on
Barbarian.
Stripes I got credited.
Oh, you did get
I
credit.
was a stunt
You were
actor.
okay.
The-
Because I know you were at the mud wrestling.
Poor John
Yeah.
Candy was getting his ass beat.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and finally he looks at the director and he goes, "You can't have these girls doing this to me, man. I'm fat." And John was so out of breath, I was getting a little worried.
Yeah.
And I told the director, I go, "You better watch him. He's breathing hard. He didn't live much longer."
Yeah, you're right.
But those girls were beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they can't do that. But
Yeah.
That movie was weird too. McMurray's not as nice a guy as you think.
Really?
I was shocked because I thought he was an awesome guy. But it was fun.
Awesome,
Nice
man.
meeting you, man.
Good meeting you.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate you.
That's okay for you.
Oh, that is perfect. That is. Oh, thank you.
The funny thing here is that the exact opposite experience of Kane Hodder. So I'm going to take a photo with him we're at his table. He's like, yeah, let's take a quick photo. I didn't ask him. I just leaned in. I was like, let's take a nice photo. And then he proceeded to wrap his giant hands around my throat and squeeze. So yeah, I'm not clowning as much. I'm like, I need air. Yeah. This Donald Gibb is just a giant of a man, and still every bit as powerful as he was on the mat in Bloodsport. Great time talking to him.
So you're getting an autograph with a bonus assault charge from all these celebrities that are just wanting to kick your butt and throttle you.
Yeah.
He's going to have a collection of all these over the years. People
Yeah.
like choking him, punching him. Like, what is going on?
Right.
Yeah. Hey, I love it. It was fun time. Speaking of great conversations, though, Dave. Now, as we know, we initially were really excited. Karen Allen was scheduled to appear at the Motor City Comic Con. Sadly, she had to cancel her appearance. Kind of fortuitous for us because there was a last-minute addition to take her place. A woman every bit as lovely as Karen Allen, every bit as talented. Dave, who did we meet?
That would be the lovely, talented, and very intelligent Marion McDonald. And for anyone who doesn't know who Marion McDonald is, she has been in a lot of stuff. But for me, the one thing that immediately stood out is Dances with Wolves.
Yes.
She plays Stands with a Fist. And I was excited to meet her because I absolutely love Dances with Wolves. And, she played the First Lady in Independence Day. She played President Laura Roslin in the Battlestar Galactica. And just recently, Madeline Usher in the Netflix series, The Fall of the House of Usher. She was very excited to talk about The Fall of the House of Usher because of the strike. They were not allowed to talk about anything. So this was like her first time in public getting to meet fans and get to be able to talk about the new series. But anyway, Jeff and I got in line. We went up to Mary McDonald, and she's very, very friendly, talking to all of her fans and stuff like that, and taking her time getting pictures with people. Soon as Jeff and I approached, to get, to meet her, and I put my picture down to get an autograph, she turns to us and immediately apologizes. She goes, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm very chatty." Thinking in my mind, we don't mind you being chatty. We love that fact. I don't want somebody who's just going to sign something and send you on your way. I mean, I know we've got lines and people are waiting, but I really appreciate when an actor or a guest, takes their time with you, just as Wayne mentioned with Doug Jones. But, I was immediately crushing on Mary McDonald because she is stunning, Jeff.
Oh, she is.
And I just was very impressed by her presence. And what I mean by that is she was just so smart, so intelligent, and just wanted to have very long conversations about what was going on, in the world, what was going on in her career, what was going on in other films. And what I loved about her, she would always turn the conversation onto other people that she's worked with and would admire on them. And I mean, she did that with Mike Flanagan, when we got to go to her panel. And that's what she mentioned to us right away. She goes, "I've been telling everybody, will you please go to my panel?" Because she had just been announced just a few days before the convention. So not a lot of people knew she was going to be there. So she was asking everybody, "Please go to my panel. Please go to my panel," which we did, of course. But man, she was just so fantastic. I love talking to her, getting to know her. And I would love to talk and meet her again, Jeff. She was just something special. Listening to her in her panel, just talking and just glowing about things that were going on in her career, getting to hear, and I won't go into details because hopefully we'll get to talk to her, but getting to hear her story of how she got the role of Stands with a Fist with Kevin Costner was fantastic. But getting to hear her origin story of how she became an actor was just really neat to hear. And Wayne, you were there, Jeff, we got to hear all that together. And it was just, you're glued to her, everything that's coming off of her lips. You're on the edge of your seat listening to her because she's just so good at talking and speaking. And I could listen to her all damn day. And that's the truth.
She is very intelligent, very articulate, and very engaging. I was enthralled listening to her talk. And we had a little bit of fun with her too, because as Dave maybe failed to mention, we're talking with her maybe a couple minutes into the conversation, and she's smiling at us, and she goes, "Oh, so are you guys a couple?" To which we were like, "No, we are
no,
no, we are not. But we do work together. And then she saw the shirts, and she's like, well, what's the show?" We get a quick opportunity to tell her what A Film By is all about. And Dave, she quickly had several suggestions for future episodes, and we did assure her that we'll be talking about them. Yep. We did assure her that we'll be covering them here very soon. But
absolutely,
just an absolutely wonderful woman. And you're right, Dave. We've reached out. We hope we'll get to talk with Miss McDonald once more, but
which could potentially be a 3-hour podcast because she loves to talk.
She's chatty. We like
it. That's a welcome podcast. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Scott, we missed you at this one, man. Are you going to be with us at the next Motor City Comic Con?
Yeah, I want to go back. My first experience was a great experience, especially when you had a chance to talk to Daryl McDaniels, DMC, and just your reaction when you were done with that conversation. You were just on top of the world. They've got a great layout. They've always got a great draw with the talent. I'd love to make the pilgrimage back up there.
Well, as we start to wrap up, I do want to call out a couple vendors that we had some nice interaction with at several of these cons. As Wayne was pointing out, there are just, they're wall to wall. There's some incredible stuff here, merchandise, you're not going to see online. You're not going to see in the stores. And sometimes you have an opportunity to meet and connect with creators and get some really cool stuff, whether it's commissioned work or just like, hey, this is exclusive to this con. Scott, you want to tell us a little bit about the art of John Wright?
Yeah, I mean, at Cincinnati Comic Expo, my two big draws were Adam Savage and JW Art Studios, The Art of John Wright. Now, John is a regular contributor and friend that's joined us on the Doctor Bay 77 podcast. He creates stunning original art based on a range of pop culture icons. Most notably, the one that I treasure the most are an original commission he did for Us, featuring an iconic scene from 1978's Superman. Just after Miss Tessmacher saves Superman from drowning, he did an amazing piece featuring our friend Valerie Perrine and Christopher Reeve sharing a moment after an impromptu kiss. Now, we also had a chance to see a gallery of his work behind him, which ranges from um, The Crow to Batman to Wolverine, like Spider-Man, so many different ones. But the one that I really wanted to get my hands on in person was this fantastic set of prints where he blends the Scooby Gang with famous movie monsters that we wish we would have seen on the screen. And he's continuing to build on that, which I love. It's a great idea.
Yep.
It's beautifully painted. He has a passion and a dedication to the characters that we love, and his work is always a feature in our studio. So whenever you had a chance to take a look at the vendors, to stop and see some of the work, and get to chat with them about their passion for what they do, it's always a great experience. And I can't wait to get my hands on more of John's work.
Yeah. I bought the whole set of Scooby-Doo that he did. I bought the whole set because they were just fantastic. I said, I don't have room on my walls, but I said, I will find room eventually because I had to own those.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite pieces of art I have on the wall right now is I was lucky enough to get a print of that Superman Miss Tessmacher moment that Scott was talking about just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
It is.
And I'll point this out. And this is coming from John Wright himself. A lot of times you go by and sometimes you don't want to make eye contact, right, with this vendor or this table, because you feel like you're gonna get pressured into like, hey, come by. That's not the case. John will be the first one to tell you he's happy. Just stop by, say hello. Talk comics, talk movies, talk music. It's a chance to connect with their audiences too. So don't feel like you're pressured to buy something, because I truthfully, every booth I've been into at all these cons, I've never once felt that kind of vibe. These are fans, these are creators, and they're here to talk with you, to talk with other fans and creators. So I would encourage you, whether stop, talk, interact.
And I mean, if it's a case where you're not ready to buy something, if it's a case where it's not quite in your budget, be honest, they'll understand. You're just really giving them a chance to talk about their work and connect with people, which is why they're there. Obviously, they're there to, hopefully sell their product and promote it. But at the very least, you can pick up their info. You can pick up a business card. You can look into them later. I highly recommend that, because it opens up the world for you in this pop culture environment we're in.
And you'll learn new things too, because and I won't give anything away, but that idea John Wright told us that he's working on, I cannot wait for that to hit the market, because that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, all these movies that we're talking about, all this work that we're talking about, getting an original piece of art like that from somebody who knows the kind of scenes and kind of, characters to capture. It's a great opportunity.
It is.
One other vendor I got to talk about, I got to let our listeners know about. We seen them at the Cincinnati Comic Expo. We couldn't miss them because of the presence they have. Maybe one of the best setups at a Comic-Con. If when we're talking about vendors, this company might have one of the best ones. I mean, it draws you in. Okay. They were also at the Motor City Comic-Con. I'm talking about the Euphoric Tree Fort, and what they specialize in is something called Smell-O-Vision candles. So let me just tell you a little bit about this company, because they're incredible. Smell-O-Vision candles have authentic aromas that enhance the viewing experience of your favorite movies and shows. These are 100% soy and have incredible burn times. They burn clean, and the smells are outrageous. What they have come up with, you see a movie, you hear a movie, how about you smell a movie? And these candles are designed to burn while you're watching your favorite show or your favorite movie to really immerse you in the experience. So, for example, I'll tell you right now, most war movies, most Westerns, I can't watch them anymore without burning one I happen to pick up from them called The Bastards, which is a play on Inglourious Bastards. This candle smells exactly like Gunsmoke, bourbon, and dry leaves. I don't know how they do it, but it's there. Dave, you have smelled that candle. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have. I smelled all the candles that that we approach, and I couldn't believe how much they smell like it.
They have a wide variety of incredible smells that will take you into any movie or any TV show that you're watching. And even if you're not too sure, one of my favorites, it's kind of quickly becoming my go-to. They have one called Movie Theater, which smells exactly like popcorn and cola. And Scott, you pointed out the last time we were hanging out, you're like, how do they get the soda smell in with the popcorn? It's there. It's on the lid, for crying out loud.
Yeah. So if you had to guess, how many movies can you get out of one candle?
Actually, we'll be able to quote David, one of the proprietors of the Euphoric Treat Fort. We were talking to him. I know we're planning to have him on the show soon. Scott, I'm already thinking we need to have a little vendor spotlight.
Yeah.
Maybe we invite John on to talk about his art and his future projects. Maybe we have David from Euphoric Tree Fort on to talk about the Smell-O-Vision candles and what they got coming out next. Because he's excited. They've got a lot going on, and I'm telling you right now, a movie experience is not a full movie experience without one of these candles, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would love to hear from them, like a pairing, right? To say The Bastards, watch it with these 5 movies, for example. That'd be fantastic.
I'm gonna reach out to him, and I'm gonna tell him we're gonna quiz you. We're gonna give you we're gonna give you 5 movies, and you tell us what we need to pick up from the Euphoric Tree Fort.
Yeah,
good idea.
Great idea.
Yep.
Wayne, where are we heading next?
Well, as together as the Conmen, we're heading to GalaxyCon 2023 in Columbus, Ohio. That is the first weekend of December. But before that, I'm taking a solo mission to Chicago for Thanksgiving weekend. This is the 23rd anniversary convention, Chicago TARDIS, which is a specific Doctor Who convention, the main convention at the East Coast. It's a fantastic Doctor Who convention. This year being the 60th anniversary of the series, they've got some incredible guests up there, including 3 doctors themselves, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy, along with what I consider one of Doctor Who royalty, Carol Ann Ford, the original companion from 1963, is going to be there. It's held every Thanksgiving. Phenomenally good convention, and for the first time ever, all of us convention goers there will be able to sit down and watch a brand new episode of Doctor Who being transmitted that Saturday, along with its director.
Nice.
That is going to be huge. Well, let me ask you this, Wayne. Back to GalaxyCon, there's got to be at least 100 people we could talk about right now that are going to be at GalaxyCon.
Oh yeah.
And listeners, I would just tell you, go online, pull up GalaxyCon 2023, look at the guest list.
It's huge.
You will be blown away. Wayne, I'll ask you, 1 or 2 people that you're excited to meet, excited to talk with. Anyone come to mind? Or are you still looking over the list?
Oh, well, I mean, no, I've got my list picked out. There are a lot of Star Trek guests there, so my poster is going to gain, I believe it was the 11 names. Plus, there's others. I mean, I'm really excited to meet William Shatner. Who else? What other name could be higher on the list to get for the poster than William Shatner himself, Captain Kirk? Never met him. And I'm looking forward to not only meeting him, but getting my photo taken with him. And I'm really excited about meeting Ron Perlman. I mean, he's another legend. I remember back in the 80s watching him on a TV show called Beauty and the Beast, and then also including his name. He was one of the main villains with Tom Hardy on Star Trek Nemesis. So I'm happy to be able to add his name to the post. All right, Scott, you're going to be there. Who are you looking forward to seeing?
The absolute top of my list has got to be Peter Cullen, iconic voice
Yes.
actor behind Optimus Prime, Eeyore, Monterey Jack from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Now, this year, he's getting honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and this is a voice that means a lot to me, and I cannot wait to meet Peter. There's a lot of Star Trek royalty that's going to be there. It would be great to meet Todd Stashwick, Captain Shaw from Picard season 3.
Yeah.
And a few that are you might not see at many cons, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing Noel McNeil, who is Bear in the Big Blue House. As a father of a puppeteer, I've got to meet Noel McNeil. Chris Sarandon from Fright Night,
Oh, yeah.
Princess Bride, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a big draw. I know that my youngest son is interested in seeing Ken Page, Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And a friend of mine is going to be there. James A. Willis is Ohio's award-winning paranormal researcher and author. He has a lot of great books, a lot of great stories about the supernatural and the paranormal in Ohio. So if you want to talk about a show that has a big range, GalaxyCon is it. So that's who I'm going to be checking out this time. What about you, Dave?
There's so many at this convention. It's ridiculous. I know they kept adding and kept adding. I was like, oh my God, this convention is going to be ridiculous on the guests that are going to be here. A few of the guys that you both have already mentioned, but the top of the list is Ron Perlman for me because he's been in so much over the years. But I can't wait to get his autograph from Hellboy because that's just what I remember Ron Perlman really from. But let's not forget Evangeline Lilly's going to be there. I look forward to meeting her. But one that I really want to meet, and I know Jeff is going to probably agree with me on this, somebody I never thought I would get to meet, and that is, of course, Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to meet
Absolutely.
him, not just for the fact that he was in Halloween Kills recently, but we know his career growing up in the 80s and what films he was in. So we all growing up with the movies that he was in. I cannot wait to meet him.
I'll tell you right now, I'll be right next to you guys when you're talking to William Shatner, to Peter Cullen, to Ron Perlman. But you better believe, for me, this is my opportunity to meet one of the greatest individuals on the planet. I'm talking about 16-time world heavyweight champion, Rick the Nature Boy Flair. Rick Flair is going to be there, and I'm so excited for this. Mike Tyson is going to... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to find out where his table is because you'll just hear that like echoing through the halls.
My understanding is that he actually gets sick of that when people do that to him. I'm not going to ask him to do that. If he wants to woo, I will. I'll certainly accept it. But Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, is going to be there. Hit King Pete Rose is going to be there. So I really dig the fact that GalaxyCon is kind of leaning into some sports legends as well. Yeah. And he's not going to be the only pro wrestler there. I mean, our buddy Sergeant Slaughter is going to be there. The Hardy Boys, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Allison Kay, Lita, Trish Stratus, Kevin Nash, who I got a fun Kevin Nash story for you guys. Not the first time I'd meet him. I met him a long time ago. Even guys like Mick Foley are going to be there. So this one is going to be huge. I dare say GalaxyCon might be the biggest one that we typically go to every year, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Definitely worth doing 2 days with that to spread it out.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for us this time. And then Dave, the following Tuesday, Mary McDonnell, she's putting us to work.
Right. Yep.
She has requested a specific Lawrence Kasdan movie. You want to tell us what that is?
Yeah, we are going to be doing Grand Canyon.
Yeah, looking forward to talking. I have not seen that one, so I
haven't
excited.
either.
I'm excited to see it. She does happen to be in that one, so it will be fun to see her performance as well.
Yep, it's not often we get homework from somebody who's in a movie, so clearly, we're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, guys. You had a successful limited series, Strange New Wednesdays, where you recapped season 2 of Strange New Worlds, and then you kind of kept it going. You did season 4 of Lower Decks, which was fantastic. And we kind of made a decision, right? No more limited series about Star Trek shows. Now, Star Trek fans, before you get upset, hear us out. We're actually doing a regular occurring series, Phasers Set to Stun. When does it start, and what can we expect?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, December 6th. Like you said, it's going beyond just one series at a time. There's a world of Trek to explore. We're going to cover movies. We're going to cover series. We're going to give you curated lists for people who are just getting into it. Anything related to Star Trek, we're going to dive into it and give you a closer look.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for this roundtable conversation on the con experience. I cannot wait to hit the road with you guys and head to Columbus for GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
Listeners, we hope you'll join us. And I'll tell you what, if you see us out there, ask for your free swag. These guys are running around. They're carrying the color changing stadium cups. They got stickers. Sometimes we got T-shirts. You see us, demand your free merch. Hold Scott Hoffman hostage if you have to.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us. We'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
All right, thanks.
See ya.